Hawaii Blues fan. We're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Presented by Scott Credit Union. Your St. Louis.
BlueNote fan report. Aloha and mahalo. I am Guy. I am the Hawaii Blues fan, and I am your host on the show. That's kind of sort of not the most, but this is the BlueNote fan report. Danny, believe it or not, I didn't get to watch as much as I wanted to. I couldn't sleep last night, so I watched it from about 1:30 to about 3 a.m. and then finally went to sleep. The night racing, I really like the night racing. It's a good course. I had the volume really low, so I didn't get to hear a lot of the announcers. And I also have because I don't hear very well, I have the subtitles on, so it covers up some of the stuff that they say in that. But, that kind of look weird. Oh, wow, that's neat. I never noticed that before. I have to do that more often. Oh, wow. Is that just what you're seeing? Yeah, that's just what you're seeing. So what the actual real footage is not that. So you know what? I think that's the what do you call it? The green screen effect. So we got that. Oh, was it? I guess I'll have to check it out, man, later. The racing's neat. I like the racing. I kind of wish that they would do it a little differently, but for the most part, I do think it's neat. I wish they do it more than, just like, I think there's only like 6 races a year. I know they do two 24-hour races. They do Daytona and they do Le Mans. And then I know there's a 12-hour at Sebring. I think there's a 12-hour in Wisconsin. There might be a 12-hour in Watkins Glen. I think they do one down they do an IMSA rate in Atlanta. I think in Atlanta's got a racetrack down there. I don't know what they do on the other side. I wish they would do more of it so it would come up more. What happens is in the big races, the three big ones. The 3 big ones are the it's not IMSA anymore. Okay, but that's like they used to be together. The endurance races used to all be together. So I guess that's been taken off a little bit. Sami Zayn turned on the bloodline yesterday. I'm not sure what that means, buddy. Not sure what you mean there. Hey, Gloria, how you doing? Yeah, that was kind of cool. Where are we at? I got everybody else. Yep. That was crazy, Bobby. I'm not sure what. Are you talking about wrestling? Must be talking about wrestling. All right. Hold on. So right now we are the second of 2 conference championships is going on. The NFC championship. The 49ers just had injury problems and all kinds of other problems with penalties, and they just got blown out by Philadelphia, who will be going back to the Super Bowl. And I think it's like for the first time since like 2006 or 2007. Been a while, I think, since they've been to the Super Bowl.
No, it was they were in the Super Bowl and won it with Nick Foles about 5-6 years ago. 5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember that, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you have Kansas City right now is leading the Bengals by a touchdown, and they're driving with about 1:10 left to go in the third period. Score is 20-13. Mahomes is playing with a high ankle strain, and you can see it hobbles him at times, but for the most part, he's played very well. Oh, wow, he just lost that football. Oh, he just fumbled, man. I just jinxed the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow, I just talked about Mahomes, and he pulled that ball back, and it went right out of his hand. Replay of the races. The IMSA races, I think you might be able to find them on the internet. You might be able to watch them on USA Network as a replay. Chris thinks that the AFC Championship is the Super Bowl. They're asking you to move your mic. They want to see your shirt.
It says talk nerdy to me.
Talk nerdy to me. There we go. The Big and Super Bring, the 1,000 miles from and the 12 hours of Sebring doubleheader in March. Okay, we're talking. That's a little bit. Lance, we were talking, and I've seen something, and I saw something on Twitter. Somebody said on Twitter about, one player can make a team. One player leaving can make a big difference and mess up a team. And to me, and I kind of responded that that's not. I mean, if that's the case, then the team was never really a team. Right? And we're talking about David Perron leaving. David Perron leaving the Blues, and I talked about this a little yesterday, and very few people were around yesterday, or day before yesterday, I think I talked about it. There were some pretty big flags, red flags that got thrown up that a lot of people have missed, right? And to me, the first red flag that got threw up that there was an issue going on with this team was Pietrangelo, right? Pietrangelo not staying. I don't want to say that was a huge red flag, but it's a slight red flag. I mean, there was some other thing. I'm sure there's other things going on there, but it did to me. I think it's the first point where you start to see some dissension among the ranks with Berube, right? I think it's the first time, and really the first time that you see that is the bubble, right? In the bubble, that team just did not buy into what Berube was selling, right? For whatever reason, they did not, and I heard that from 3 different media members that were at that tournament, and they absolutely said. They absolutely said that, there was no buy-in by the Blues players whatsoever. Is that what you saw during the bubble, during those bubble games?
Yeah, they just looked like they didn't want to be there. For a team that was, in my mind, the top 1 or 2 teams in the league going into that bubble, they sure as heck didn't show it. And it did not look like the same team. And I said it back then. Do you know whose job it is to get a team ready who is set for such a long time to get ready to play? It's the coach's job. It's the coach's job to build them up. And when Berube and the coaching staff had that lackadaisical attitude towards those 3 or 4 pre-games the warm-up games that they played, we're trying to get our legs. These are just warm-up games.
They were a lot more than warm-up games. They were a lot more seeding games.
Because I'm going to tell you, the teams that did pretty good in them, those are the teams that succeeded in the playoffs because they took them seriously.
Not completely, because Dallas only win was over us, right?
I said most. I said most,
and they ended up making it to the finals.
I said most. I didn't say all.
Okay, Boston did come in 4th, but they won a round. Mm-hmm. They won a round. The Blues didn't win a round. The Blues barely won 2 games, right? They were the best teams going into the bubble. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say that the Bruins completely fell flat on their face. They did fall, but they didn't fall as flat as the Blues did. No. Right? And here's the thing about this. The one thing with Boston is Boston had the easier track, right? So Boston played 4-3-2 where St. Louis played 2-3-4. Now, to me, both teams should have played 4-3-2, right? And it should have gone 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3, 1 plays 3, 2 plays 4, 1 plays 2, 3 plays 4. That's how it should have gone for both teams, right? It should have been an advantage to be the top team in the league and not playing Colorado, the number 2 team, right off the bat with 1 warm-up game. Right? So to me, that was an issue. But then after that, we get into the 21 season, and the 21 season, just from the get-go, I mean, you had that great win, and then in the second game of the season, you got an 8-0 shellacking by Colorado, right? That 21 season, it just seemed like nobody. The Blues couldn't get anything going. There's been, if you go back and look at it, and I know hindsight's 20/20, but if you go back and look at it, it's going to be Philly third team to make the championship. So I guess their basketball team made it too. So, okay. That's pretty cool. Oh, man, Mike. Well, that was Cincinnati just got the ball down deep, so this is going to be tight. 14-44 to go in the fourth. I think it was after the bubble. They got to stop switching assistant coaches. I see the difference from 19 to now. That's Marianne. There's nothing you're going to do about that. Good teams, assistants are going to get hired away.
If
they're going to get better jobs elsewhere.
If they're good.
Right? If they're good, that's going to happen, right? So, and in all actuality, you look at where we're at, and we don't have that many changes in our assistant coaches.
Yeah, Van Ryn
was an assistant coach. Yeah. Ott was an assistant coach during the 19 season. So Van Ryn was an assistant coach during the 19 season. Mm-hmm. Really, we've only had 1 or 2 coaches change. Ott and Van Ryn have been around a while. Mm-hmm. Right? Ott was assistant coach with Yo. Right? Ott was an assistant coach with Yo. Berube was an assistant coach with Yo. Van Ryn was an assistant coach with Yo. So there's really not been a lot of this turnover that we think there has. Montgomery leaving really hurt this team, and the reason it hurt this team is Montgomery, above anything else. I mean, and when you look at it, you don't think about it, but Montgomery's an offensive coach.
And you know what else he did? He was the opposite of Berube. He's more of a players type coach. Does he expect his players to play and listen to him? Yes. Can he get onto his players? Oh, yes, he can. I've heard him do it.
Oh, yeah.
But in Dallas. But I'll tell you this. A lot of players love to play for Jim Montgomery. They just do. I mean, it's not a coincidence that Boston went from a team that looked like they were on the end. They were going to have to do a rebuild, after last year.
Yep.
To where they are today. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, he goes there, and they're the surprise team, one of the surprise teams of the league, right? Mm-hmm. They're absolutely one of the surprise teams of the league, and this isn't a shock to me. I mean, it is a shock to me, first of all, and I admit I'm wrong here. I thought this was too soon from Montgomery's issues for him to be going to coach a team. You got to remember, there's a reason why he became an assistant in St. Louis, right? And it had nothing to do with any of his issues or any of that other stuff, right? The reason he became a coach in St. Louis is his wife is from St. Louis. He owns a house in St. Louis. He moved to St. Louis to work on his issues, right? To work on his recovery. And when he felt it was that time, he decided to go ahead and coach. But for the most part, I think he didn't travel as much with the team as everybody thinks he did. I don't think he traveled a lot last year. right? I think
Who, Montgomery?
Montgomery, yeah.
Yeah, he was at every single road game.
Are you sure? I thought he stayed home some.
I am almost positive he was at every road game.
All right. Well, I mean, I was concerned that this was, just too close to his issues, but it wasn't, because he's gone there. He's changed the message to a message that they need to hear and they want to hear, and it's working. The Blues message is not working anymore.
I want to get back to Perron because I wanted to say something about the situation. David Perron is a good power play guy. The knock I always had on Perron, and he got better at it, not last season, but the season before, where he'd give you a goal on the power play, 2 goals now and again, every couple games, but he takes stupid penalties. And he's still doing that in Detroit. Detroit has played, I think, a game less than the Blues, or somewhere around the same. Guess how many points are between the Blues and Detroit? There's 1 point between the two teams. So people's argument that David Perron makes such a huge difference that it's the reason the Blues are 6th in the league now instead of first or in the Western Conference instead of 1st or 2nd. Has he made a difference in Detroit? Yes. But is Detroit 1st or 2nd in the league in their conference because of David Perron? No. David Perron is a piece. David Perron is a piece to a solution. That's all he is. Is he a good player? Yes. Is he a great player that makes teams go from a bad team to the top team in the league? Hell no, he's not. And he's showing.
Well, he took him from a bottom lottery team to a playoff team.
Who?
Right?
Detroit? No.
No, they're 7th. Okay.
Yeah, no. And I'm going to tell you right now, Sundqvist and all the other Larkin, all them other younger guys that have played another year under their belt, they're a lot of the reason why Detroit is good. Has Perron helped them? Yes. But the way people go on here in this town, number one, is that, number one, the Blues didn't want him because he's put that narrative out there. Number two, that's a lie because the difference in the contracts was $750,000. He could have stayed here.
Yeah.
Number three, has he made Detroit better? Yes. Has he turned Detroit into a number 1 or top 2 team in their conference? In their conference? No, he's not. So, if he was that great, I mean, I would expect.
In all actuality, he's moved up 2 spots.
Yeah, I would expect Detroit to be at least 8 or 10 games stronger if he was that much of a key player. Is what I would say.
They've moved up 2 spots.
I like David Perron.
Yeah,
but people in this town, and you're going to hate me for saying this. It's people that don't understand the game, that get too attached to a player, and the players can do no wrong in some people's eyes, that we ought to just love them and never say anything wrong about them. And those are the people that are whining about David Perron being gone. Did you hear this when Brett Hall left? I don't think there was much of an uproar when the Blues decided not to re-sign Brett Hall.
Oh no, there was an uproar. It wasn't
not
this
like this.
Big,
not like
but
this.
Then Hull turns around and takes Dallas to a Stanley Cup. He left in 98, and they get the cup in 99. So the next year, right? He got the cup the next year. The year he left,
well,
I'm going to
tell you right now, there's a huge difference in player-wise over Brett Hall and David Perron.
Oh, I get that. Now, Dale says, see, I disagree with this. I don't think, now see, to me, both Thomas and Kyrou have proved they've earned their new contracts.
Sure they have.
Absolutely. But to sit there and say that you should have waited to sign them, no.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you
their
right now.
Their value was going up.
I'm going to tell you right now, if Kyrou has like an 80, 90 point season, which I think he's going to, do you know what he would have cost the Blues? He would have cost the Blues at least $1.5 million to $2.5 million more.
Oh yeah,
easy.
Oh well, okay. Here's a point. Now, Bob, when are you going to come on? Bob, can you come on? Can you join us? I want you to come on. Can I send you a link? Can I send you a link and have you join us? Because I think this would be a great debate, and I think it'd be better than text, than message. He says, so a player can't make a difference, but 1 of 6 coaches can make a difference.
Yes.
Got it. And that's a fair point.
No, it's actually, it's kind of off because here's the thing. the coach sets the tone. The coach sets the lineups. The coach is much more in charge of that team than any single player. Any single player has an effect on that team. Because if you've got good players and a bad coach, you think they're going to overcome that and win a Stanley Cup? No. You've got to have at least a good coach coaching your team. You don't even have to have a great team, but if you have great players and a good coach.
I brought this up a couple nights ago, and we had Stephen Glass on, right? And Stephen Glass, well, he was in the chat room. Stephen Glass' son plays high-level baseball.
Mm-hmm.
No, Dale, that's just part of it. It's not that I always disagree with you. It's that, that's part of this show. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear them. It doesn't mean, you can say what you want, and I'm going to say what I want, and it's fine. You have every right to your opinion. I have every right to mine, and this is an open discussion. It's a sports open line. That's what it is. Right?
Here's one thing I want to say to these people that say David Perron is the reason we're losing because he's gone. Okay, look at how much people, Vince Dunn and Schwartz left. Okay,
yeah,
were the Blues good last year? Hell yeah, they were good last year.
Yeah.
And I would say that if you take the offense that Dunn provided, even though he made stupid defensive mistakes, and when Schwartz was on, they had more of an impact as two players than David Perron had on this team.
I can agree with that.
And where's Seattle right now? Seattle's 63 points. Is it because solely of Schwartz and Dunn? No, because Schwartz and Dunn were there last year. And was Seattle that good? No.
Seattle needed time to grow. They had growing pains last year, and you saw that coming.
But Dunn and Schwartz are the same players.
I'm getting to the point.
Dunn and Schwartz.
My digits are.
Dunn and Schwartz didn't grow. They're the same players they've always been.
Yeah, but you when you take 30 new guys and put them on one team, it takes time to gel into it. And they didn't have the right coach. I mean, Vegas was different. Vegas took high-end guys all right off the bat, right? And for the most part, Seattle took young guys, 23, 24, 22, 18, 19, 20. They took younger guys, right? They took the youngest guys they could, and then in free agency, signed older guys. Instead of taking them in I'm trying to. So that's that's kind of the thing there. So the team itself needed to grow into itself, and it has.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. My point is, if players can have such an impact, and I would agree that Schwartz is a pretty good player. He's pretty good. He always works hard, has chances to score. Dunn has become, he's always been an offensive defenseman. He's the same player he was with the Blues. So is Schwartz. My point with that is David Perron is the same player he was with the Blues. But is the whole rest of the team? I mean, if the rest of the team isn't good, it's not going to make a difference. That's my point. If David Perron was still here and Nick Leddy was gone, we would have so many holes in the defense that we might even be a worse team because of it.
Yeah. Now, see, here's Robert says, and by the way, I love that we can debate, even though I'm right all the time, right, Lance? The score is 20-20. It is 3rd and 9 with I don't know if it's 3rd and 9 or 4th and something. No, they took it back, so they're redoing the play. I don't know. Bengals are pissed right now. I have it on in my ears when I'm kind of not completely listening. So it's 3rd and 9 with 10:29 to go. Kansas City back. Mahomes gets sacked. Oh, wow. That was a bad sack to take. Bad sack. Okay, Dale says we should have kept Maroon. I absolutely agree with this. Not for the luck factor. Right? I know what you're saying, and I know that's what, it seems like that. Maroon brings something to a team, even a skilled team, that you don't completely understand or get. Oh, a holding penalty.
Oh, okay. We signed Maroon.
So it's 1st and 10. Wow.
We signed Maroon Which of our young players do you want to still have down in the AHL or that you've traded because they don't have ice time? Tell me that.
Go
ahead. Barbashev, Kyrou.
I would not have mind Barbashev getting an extra year. I would not have mind Barbashev staying down an extra year. Kyrou needed to come up. Barbashev I could have seen down an extra year. Walker could have stayed down for me, and I love Walker. You know that.
Barbashev was already here for the cup. What do you mean stay down an extra year?
Okay. Then who came up after? We let Moran go to bring guys up. Well, who did we bring up?
Kyrou.
Kyrou was here for the cup.
But he wasn't playing all the. What I'm saying is these young guys' minutes, Barbashev's, Kyrou's, and these younger guys, neighbors, so on and so forth. These younger guys would not have gotten as many minutes or as much of an opportunity to play here. They just wouldn't have. And who knows? Maybe Maroon stays here, and for some reason they trade one of our young forwards. I mean, if we all remember. A year and a half ago, last year, even the beginning of this season, 60% of the Blues fan base wanted Kyrou gone. He's no good.
Yeah. No, the one I wanted gone was Sanford. Sanford was a freaking parking cone.
Sanford should have never been here. If I was the Blues, I would have never.
No, see, now there you go. There you go. Sanford is a guy that Maroon could have replaced. That could have stayed. That could have gone back down and gotten more time that Maroon could have placed.
But Sanford was getting more minutes, and you don't want Maroon getting that many minutes.
I don't know. Sanford. I didn't want Sanford to get as many minutes as he got. I would have Sanford not been in the lineup.
Maroon probably, I haven't checked, but I think he gets well under 15 minutes a game. I think he's around 10 to 12 minutes a game.
I don't even know where Sanford is right now. I think he's on...
he's Nashville.
Nashville, right? He's been on 4 teams since we traded him.
Yeah.
4 separate teams since we've traded him. Right? He went from Ottawa. Ottawa traded him to Winnipeg. Winnipeg traded him to somebody else. And then he ended up getting either traded or signed with Nashville. And I think he got traded.
He got traded.
Right? Huh?
He got traded.
He got traded. So we saw the same drop-off when Ott left, when Maroon left. Okay, that's a fair point. They should have kept Wallman. He's been great playing. Nah, see that Wallman needed to go for me. I was okay with Wallman because I thought Wallman was holding Nikola back, and I still like Nikola. I still really like Nikola. He's getting better and better. I know people always want to key on his mistakes, but I still like what he's doing, and I think Nikola can be that guy. Right, I really do.
All right, this year with the Lightning, Pat Maroon is getting 13.8 minutes a game, which is less than he got last year. He was getting 16 a game last year.
Okay, Lance Scott. So I expect our Cardinals to make the playoffs, like most years or not. That's all I care about is the climb. Oh, Jason. I'm not arguing that Lance. Just saying that we saw a drop-off. You're right, we did. Kid Kyrou was a game changer. He should be untouchable. Not completely on board with that, but maybe. The Cards can lose a few key players and still make the playoffs. Different sport, completely different.
Totally different.
Yeah, totally different. You can the majority of the players that they lose are lower end players. The high guys aren't going anywhere, you know.
And how many high guys do the Cardinals always have? They spend money in certain areas and other money they don't spend it. And those guys like Goldschmidt or Renato and those type of guys, when they get them, they hang on to them normally until their contracts are up. It's those guys like Colton Wong, those middle of the road to upper guys that are good.
Wong was a mistake. Wong was a mistake.
So. I don't think so.
Absolutely he was a mistake. The guy won the Gold Glove at second base. You let a Gold Glove second baseman walk.
Well, yeah, because of his hitting.
He's 26.
I fully understand why they let him go, and he's with his
He was 20. Wasn't he 26, 27 when they let him go?
He's with his second team already after the Cardinals.
What do you mean? Isn't he still in Milwaukee?
San Diego.
When did he go to San Diego?
I'm almost positive he's with San Diego now. Let me look.
No, because I thought he signed more than a 2-year deal with Milwaukee. Maybe he only signed a 2-year deal with Milwaukee.
Let's see here. Where is he from? I got it right here. Colton Wong, second baseman. Oh, he's with Seattle this year.
Seattle. Okay. So did he sign as a
Let me see.
free agent?
Let me see.
I think it would have been.
Yep. He went to Milwaukee for 2 years and now he's with Seattle.
Seattle is a free agent. Did he go as a free agent signee?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then, no, Danny says he got traded.
I thought he went as a free agent.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that.
He was traded last month. That's why I did. That's
so I trade.
I pay zero attention to baseball these months. I know Cardinals fans, live, eat, and breathe it 12 months out of the year, but I just don't. I don't. I do that with hockey. I don't do that with baseball.
I see. I don't think Colton Wong's going to do as good in the American League as he will in the National League because he's a defensive second baseman, and he's damn good. All right. See, I saw Colton Wong play as a college kid. And when he got drafted, I told somebody. I was talking to people here in Hawaii, and I said, you look at where he's supposed to go, I almost guarantee you he's going to the Cardinals. That is a team that needs a second baseman, and they need a second baseman like now. And when they picked him at like 23rd or 22nd, I was absolutely ecstatic, and he didn't live far from where I lived at the time. So,
I want to say one thing real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
People can argue with me about this, but Wayne Gretzky is the greatest player of all time. Okay. Let's say in his prime, when he was really good, maybe a little bit older, maybe after being in the league 7-8 years. Let's just say that Edmonton traded him, but they had every other player. And I know they didn't, they had all the other players that helped them get to the Cups. Mm-hmm. Do you not think Edmonton would still be one of the best teams in the league? They were. They were, and they would be.
They won a cup. They won a cup without Gretzky.
So this whole thing of a middle of the road player like David Perron, and now all of a sudden they lose him, and the Blues are terrible, and that's why. Guys,
yeah, I'm with you there. See, that's the thing. A lot of people don't get this. When I interviewed Grant Fuhrer, I was surprised to find that he had 5 rings. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, I knew that Gretzky had 4. Right? I knew Gretzky had 4, that they won 4 rings. I didn't think they won them 4 in a row, but they won 4 rings while he was there. Mm-hmm. And then I'm looking at, Grant talking about 5 rings, and it kind of shocked me for a second, so I had to go look it up. Grant won a ring after Gretzky was traded. Yep. Right? And Gretzky only goes back to the finals one more time. One more time in his career. Mm-hmm. And that's with L.A., and they end up losing to Montreal, and that was the 93 finals. That was the 75th anniversary season. And this is the greatest player to ever play the game, could not win another cup besides that one with L.A. a couple of years. No, they didn't win a cup with L.A. He didn't win a cup. He went to the finals. They didn't win a cup. He went to the finals. And this is the greatest player. Did he make his teams better? Yeah, but did he? I think the Oilers only have, they might have 8 cups, but I think they only have 5. They don't have. No, they only have 5. They only have 5. Yeah. They only have 5. Yeah. Yeah. And Grant Fuhr's got all of them. Yeah, Grant Fuhr was there for all of them. Right. Yeah. The first time I interviewed him, and I said, I want to welcome to the show a good friend of mine and 5-time Stanley Cup champion Grant Fuhr. After the show, he goes, "I'm glad you said 5 times because most people say 4." 4. Oh, that was a great interview. He hasn't responded back to me. I've asked him for more interviews. He hadn't responded back. So he's gotten really involved in a lot of charities throughout the year. When he lives in the desert out there. Yeah, I've seen him do other interviews. He plays golf all year long. I was like a one and done. Yeah, he plays golf all year long. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think I was a one and done with him, but that's fine. I got my chance. I've tried to get him a few times, and he's agreed to it, and then our schedules won't. They I'm doubting the season. Brian, I'm absolutely doubting the season. I thought that by now they could have done something. The Winnipeg game is huge. This Winnipeg game is absolutely huge, right? And it's not even funny how big this Winnipeg game is. Not even funny how big this Winnipeg game is. And if they come out flat again, forget it. The MLF playoffs. Robert Morton says it's over. I think that we're missing the playoffs this year, and the problem is we're going to be so far down in the lottery that it's not going to matter. You're probably going to pick, maybe you pick 16th, 17th.
They're 25th right now. They're not going to pick 17th.
They're not 25th. I thought they were 9th.
I just checked it. They're 25th in the league right now. Overall standings. I checked it this morning.
Intercepted. Kansas City gets the ball in their own 15. Hold on. Oh, they're 25th. So
Yep.
1, 2, 3,
Told you,
4,
7.
5, 6, 7, 8th.
Yeah. Right
Yeah,
now,
they're 8th.
okay, right now, if the Blues were to finish 25th, I sat down and figured it out. They have a 5% chance of getting Connor Bedard.
I don't see it, but we haven't picked in the top 10 in forever.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. If they keep the coaching staff and every single one of these players that they have right now, and they're probably going to trade Tarasenko, they're probably going to trade O'Reilly when he's healthy because they're talking to teams, but no team's going to make a move on him until he comes back. It's just not going to happen. And if those two guys are gone, do you think this team is going to be better without O'Reilly and Tarasenko? No. I
still don't see Tarasenko going anywhere. I heard the Islanders. I just don't think that that's a team he wants to go to. And everybody forgets he has all the power.
The Islanders and Rangers were on his original thing that he sent.
But it doesn't matter. You know what? He could tell Doug Armstrong today, make a trade. Make a trade. I'm willing.
Yeah, to the teams.
Hold on.
To the teams that I have on my list. If Doug Armstrong gets a trade to a team on his list, Tarasenko has to go.
No, he does not.
Yes, he does.
No, he does not.
On his list,
No, he does not. No, he does not.
No,
he does not. I looked it in the CBA.
Most certainly does.
No, he does not.
Then
no, he does not.
Why in the hell have the 10-team list, then, guy? Why?
What?
Why have the 10-team list or 12-team list?
Okay, no. This is different.
No.
Lance, stand by. Hold on. Vladimir Tarasenko has a full no-trade clause. He can tell a team that he would be willing to be traded to other teams. That's fine. But when it comes down to it, because he has a full no-trade clause, it is up to him whether or not to accept the trade. Period. End of story.
Nope, you're wrong.
Yes. No, I am not wrong. I have talked to 2 different agents about this because I wanted to make sure that that's how I read the CBA. A no-trade clause gives the player the right to veto any. In fact, we saw it happen. Last season, a player got traded to a team on his no-trade list.
Yeah, no trade list. But if he gives them a trade list and he's already agreed to those teams, let's say he says, I'll go to the Islanders, and the Islanders come back with a trade that's good with the Blues. Since he gave
the Blues have to go to Tarasenko and says, we have a deal with the Islanders. Will you accept it? And Tarasenko can go, no.
No, he cannot.
Yes, he can.
He can. Guy, then why even have the list of teams? Why?
Players with a full no trade have the right to change their name, change their minds. They can change their minds.
Tarasenko.
He has the right to rescind that trade request at any time, even after a trade is made.
I'm going to ask you this question. Do you honestly think that if he tells Armstrong, okay, I'll go to the Devils, the Islanders, the Rangers, I'll go to the Dallas Stars, I'll go to this team, to that team, to this team. These are the teams I will go to. And then he comes back and says, no, I'm not going to go to. Do you know what kind of reputation he's going to get in the NHL? No team is going to want to give him any type of no trade clause.
You know what? And again, that might be, but he's got the power. That's what a no trade clause, full no trade clause does. It gives the player some power. Now, see, that's the thing. It's completely different than a no movement clause. And everyone thinks that no movement and no trade are the same thing. They're not.
Oh, I'm
a no movement clause means you can't even waive the player. You can't even waive them. You can't even send them down. You can't put them on an exemption list. There's a lot of things that you can't do.
My whole point is this, guy. Why, as a player, if you're wanting your team that you're going to leave, if you want them to respect your wishes, why would you give them let's just say Tarasenko gives them an 8-team list? Guys, I will go to these teams. Armstrong and the other team spent all this time negotiating, which they've been negotiating with the Islanders for about 2 years now. And Berube goes, okay, we're working with the Islanders. Let's work this trade out. And they go, okay, Vlad, you said you'd go to the Islanders. We got a trade worked out. Let's get it done. No, I don't think so.
Okay, at the moment, hold on.
But my question is this.
I'm going to tell you why.
My question is this. Why even put them on the no trade clause? And if you think he's hated now, wait till he does something like that. That's like me.
That was
going,
illegal.
Wait, guy. That's like me going to a job recruiter and saying, okay, find me a job. I go, these are the 4 companies I want to work for. Here's my salary. Here's everything I want. And they go, okay, Lance, we found you got a job at Apple as a CEO or a COO, Chief Operations Officer, like you had with your other tech company. This is the salary, exactly what you requested. Here's the contract. And you say no. Number 1, Apple's never going to hire you ever if you back out. Number 2, that job recruiter is going to tell every other premium executive job recruiter what you did to them, because that job recruiter is going to be out about a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 commission.
Yeah,
I'm saying
that.
Tarasenko has.
You have the right to do it.
Tarasenko
have the right to do it.
He has no reason to do that. He's not that type of player.
He does have a reason, and this is a time that you need to listen to Guy for a change, because right now the Islanders are out of a playoff spot, not by much, but they're out. Hold on. Let's say that in 2 weeks the Islanders fall even further down. They're 4th or 5th, right? Because they've got their teams behind them have game. There's teams ahead of them. Buffalo Sabres have games in hand. Penguins have games in hand. And then Flyers have a game in hand. There are teams that are close enough.
He goes to Doug Armstrong. He goes to Doug Armstrong and he says, Doug, I know I told you the Islanders, but man, these last 3 weeks they've tanked. I don't want to go there. If you're talking to them, stop the talks. Then that's what he should do.
Okay, but that's what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at is he has that right. He has the right to say no. Just like your thing was, the guy that you know that came to you, you still have the right to say no.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm ruined. I am ruined with every job recruiter. I'll never get another job through another job recruiter.
Okay, that doesn't matter. You still have the right. You still have the right. You still have the right. That's what I'm getting at, Lance.
He's gone,
it
guy.
doesn't
He's
matter.
Gone.
You still have that right.
He's gone. Especially
he may be gone.
Especially if another team says, tell Vlad, we'll trade for him and we'll give him a 6-year, $8.5 million a year contract. He's gone.
Oh, yeah. At that point, yeah, he is gone. He is gone if it's a team that he wants to go to. Right? Robert says, that's like my wife saying, I don't have to go to my mother-in-law's. Then I say, I'm going to do something. And then she says, I have to go to Station's house.
Mm-hmm.
Satan's
the mother-in-law. Yep. Mother-in-law's win.
Right? But see, that was... see, Lance, he gets me. Guy is saying he can. Lance is saying he won't. And this is an echo fight.
I'm saying he won't.
It doesn't matter what he will do. It's what he can do. And that's what I'm trying to get at.
Guy, why? Okay. When he went to the Blues about this and talked to them and said, hey, if you want to trade me, here's the teams I would be willing to go to. Okay.
2 years ago.
Wait,
2
guy,
years ago.
Guy,
2 years ago.
He's also told them what teams he'll go to. He's updated that list. That list has been updated. Trust me, because
I've been told it hasn't.
It has.
I've been told it hasn't. In fact, I've been told that it's basically, while it's not quote unquote been rescinded, it's like, I'm not really sure I want to do that. I think he's made it clear to the Blues that he doesn't want to go, doesn't want to be traded.
I don't think that, guy.
Right?
Okay, you say he loves the city, correct? You go on and on every time. He loves the fan. He loves the fans. He loves the city. He loves the city. But no, he's told him he's not going to be traded, which is going to screw the team over of the city he loves, and he's just going to walk, and the team's not going to get anything for him. Those two things go totally against what you're telling me.
He may love the city, but he don't love the team right now. Well, he don't love the management.
That don't matter. If he loves the city so much and loves these fans, he's not going to tell the team, screw you, I'm going to walk, and screw these fans.
Pietrangelo did.
I'm not going to let. Well, Pietrangelo's an asshole, and he always has been an asshole.
All right. I think that you're better off trading, because you know what? You don't have to deal with any of the bullshit. You are better off trading O'Reilly, trading Barbashev. They don't have no trade clauses. You don't have to worry about it, and you can get great value for both of them.
What do you think they're going to get for Barbashev? I know what you're going to say, and you're off.
They're going to get a second. They're going to get a high-end prospect or a second or higher.
Nope, because they tried to trade him last year, and the most, and not every team, the 4 or 5 teams they talked to, the biggest return they would give for him is a third, not a second. That's why he wasn't traded, because nobody so far is willing to give the second that Armstrong wants. Armstrong is not going to get a second-round draft pick for Ivan Barbashev.
Now this is the thing and I have heard this about ORR saying that he would take the hometown discount. The problem is, I just don't see them having. If he's going to take a discount, it's going to have to be huge. He's going to have to come back for $4 or $4.5 million. You know what? A smart GM will always overvalue their players. Always overvalue their players. If a GM does not overvalue their players, they're getting nothing.
I agree with that. If he wanted a third out of it, you don't go and ask for a third. You ask for a second. My whole point is,
okay, Danny, I want to bring. Go ahead, Lance. Let me finish.
At some point, Armstrong's going to have to go. Okay, I'm going to move Barbashev. What's it going to be? Do I want to get a third? Or do I want to get a third and maybe a 6th or 7th, or just a third? Or do I want to push and try to get a second when nobody's offering me a second?
Well, again, you're right on that. I don't know, but okay, let me say something on this one, Danny. That was never, ever going to happen. Tarasenko being left unprotected?
No.
Wait, no, hold on. See, everyone made a big deal about this, and I don't think that they understood why this happened. There is an absolute reason why this happened, and it had nothing to do with the quote-unquote trade request.
Mm-hmm.
This had to do with, who would I rather lose? Barbashev or that's intentional grounding, I'm pretty sure. Barbashev or Dunn. That's what it came down to. Who do you want to lose? And at the time, the Blues would have lost Dunn over Barbashev. So in order to not put Barbashev on the unprotected list, they put Tarasenko, knowing that Seattle was not going to take Tarasenko.
Seattle already said that they weren't going to take any players with salaries like a $7.5 million player, regardless. They weren't going to do that. So
that's what that was.
A lot of teams did that. And a lot of teams even talked to Seattle and said, hey, we're going to leave this guy unprotected.
No, Greener.
That's
It
not
had nothing
true.
to do with that. This was a strategic move.
It was.
It had everything to do with who do you want to lose,
That's
Barbashev
right.
or Dunn, because that is the two players that they were looking at.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is the two players that they were looking at in the expansion draft.
Mm-hmm. They didn't want
They were not
Tarasenko.
looking at Tarasenko. They were not looking at any other big name players. They did not take one player with a salary over $5 million. That was, I don't think they took a player younger than the age of 24 or 25. I don't think they took a player older than that.
Yeah, they wanted youth.
Everything was youth. It was Dunn or Barbashev. Those are the two players that they were scouting. Those are the two players that they asked about. Those are the two players that they had gotten physicals for. So it came down to, no, he could have gone to expansion. But what they did, the Blues could have protected him. They could have protected him. However, they knew that there was a good chance that if they left Barbashev unprotected, they were going to lose Barbashev. They would have rather lost Dunn.
And
right?
those were the only two players that Seattle was interested in from the Blues.
Seattle was interested in. So they decided that they would have rather lost Dunn than Barbashev. So they unprotected Tarasenko. They unprotected him, knowing that he was not going to get picked. Now,
it's I'm going to say one thing real quick. Did anybody really think Montreal thought they were going to lose Carey Price? Even though Sportsnet and all these, the hockey NHL network, Seattle's probably going to take Carey Price. This could be a team changing thing. And Seattle, and they pushed that narrative. Seattle's going to take Carey Price. And Guy and I both said, no, Montreal knows
happening.
Seattle is not taking Carey Price. And that's why he's been left unprotected. Because they wanted to protect somebody else.
Yep. They wanted to protect youth. And that's exactly what this was. So, see, now this is the issue that I had with that, right? My issue with this, what they should have been done, they negotiated with Schwartz, and they basically, if they would have signed Schwartz ahead of the expansion draft, that's all the Blues would have lost with Schwartz. Now, what they did is they signed Schwartz like 30 minutes, not even 30 minutes after midnight. They signed him right away. That negotiation had happened and was known prior to that. That was tampering in my eyes. Because what should have happened, it should have been a 1 week wait after any player that they talked to, and I think if the NHL does this again, they're going to have to do this. If you talk to a player about free agency, and you do not sign that player prior to the expansion draft, you must wait 1 week to sign that player. Right? Because if that happens, I think they sign Schwartz and we don't lose Dunn. Because Schwartz isn't going to wait a week. Schwartz would have gotten a better offer from somebody else if they knew what the offer was on the table.
I think the Blues would have been fine with losing Dunn in either way.
But here's the thing. We shouldn't have lost two players in that. We should have only lost Schwartz. And then we could have traded Dunn for something. We could have done a draft day trade for Dunn. We lost a player that we should not have lost. The fact that they signed him so quickly. Now you got to remember, you couldn't even talk to a team until midnight. Right? You could not even talk to a team until midnight. All of these contracts that come out before 1 a.m., 2 a.m., to me, that had to be pre-negotiated. And all those contracts that come out like that need to be investigated to see if there was tampering.
Here's my thing. Armstrong has told people he doesn't think it was tampering.
Huh?
Armstrong has no issues with what happened.
He may not have issues with what happened, but it was tampering. Yeah, Price gets $11 million a year, yeah. No, it wasn't because of Price's payroll. It had everything to do with they were going young. Right?
Montreal,
I'm telling you, if they were going to buy, if they were going to take the Vegas way and go for the playoffs, you know, not teach their fans how to lose and just try and get in and they have a built-in fan base, and that's what helped them. Okay? They have a built-in fan base where excuse me. Vegas didn't. Vegas didn't have a built-in fan base. Vegas needed to win quickly. Mm-hmm. Okay, Dale, you're right. But what you see, but Dale,
you're
that's
not
exactly what
understanding
I'm
he's
saying.
Yeah, here, maybe I can explain it better. Schwartz as a free agent, okay? Schwartz was going to be a free agent, and apparently, from what Guy and I know, the Kraken talked to him before they should have been talking to him.
No. That's not right. They were allowed 2 days before.
Yeah, 2 days.
The draft.
Yeah.
2 days before the expansion draft.
Yeah, 48
to
hours.
talk to any free agent.
48 hours.
If they signed that free agent, that meant that free agent would count as the team's draft pick.
Yeah, but you know what? If I'm Seattle, I'm doing the same thing because not only do I want Schwartz, if I can get away with it, I'm going to sign Schwartz, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to have the contract ready to go. Then I'm going to sign him.
Well, see, to me, that was an unfair advantage, and it cost the team 2 players when it should have cost them 1. If that would have been the case, Seattle should not have been allowed to talk to any player ahead of time.
I'm going to tell you something. If I'm the GM of Seattle and I'm the agent for Jaden Schwartz, I'm loving it because I've got a new team.
They use the system. That was the
That's
rules.
what I mean.
That was the system. My
That's
problem is that the rules were not good.
No, they're not. I agree.
Right? The rule was not good. The rule hurt other teams. Right? Wow, what an hour this has been. Let's see where we at here. So the game's still going on, so I'm going to stick around. There's 17 seconds left. It's 3rd and 4. The game is still tied. Kansas City has the ball, but they're in a bad shape, I think. Who said hi to us? Erickson Krieger, Dale Klunk, Marianne Holmes, Jason Nickel, Danny Johnson. Thank you for putting the things in the air. Oh, they absolutely talked to the agent.
Sure they did.
Come on, Mahomes, throw the damn ball. Throw the damn ball. Well, he got the first. There's now 8 seconds left. And, there's a flag. And it's going to be against Cincinnati. Kansas City may have just won this game on a field goal with 8 seconds left.
I hate this. I'm trying to watch this Game Center thing on ESPN.
Yeah.
And I'm still 2 plays behind, no matter how much I refresh.
Yeah, it is behind. Unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty. Wow.
Yep. That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a huge one. Well, he tackled him. Oh, yeah, he pushed him out of bounds, way out of bounds.
Yep. It was.
Took 2 steps. Took 2 steps and then pushed him.
Yep, and he was already out of bounds.
Yep.
You got to be smart. You've got to be smart about it. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about something real quick.
Yeah.
Have you seen the articles by the media from Colorado?
No.
They are tearing Jordan Bennington apart. He's the Avalanche's number one enemy. He pretends to beat up on people for no reason. He's got this.
He got slashed across the damn neck.
He's got this vendetta against Colorado, and he's the worst player in the league, and the worst guy who's out of. He needs to be disciplined. I'm going, guys. Your player took him out of the playoffs, and he needs to be disciplined.
Yeah. Right. And not only that, he got slashed across the neck.
I know.
He got slashed. They called the slash.
I know.
They called the slash. The goalie who's got the least amount of padding up here. Right? Who got slashed across the neck.
It hurts.
Had every right to go after and go after the player that whacked him in the neck.
I would have.
Yeah. And it is good. With 4 seconds left, Kansas City takes a 23-20 lead in the AFC Championship. It is going to come down to a kickoff and
a Hail Mary punt return.
A lateral contest.
Lateral. Yeah, they're going to have to lateral about 10 times.
Actually, I think the best thing to do is wherever that ball goes, don't touch it. Let it go out the end zone. Get the ball at the 25 and just throw one as deep as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's all you can do.
Either that or take off running.
I want to say one thing. I like the Bengals. They've been bad for a long time. I'm glad they're better. But, guys, take the loss. You did something stupid. And I know I'm gonna see all these articles how it was a bad call and the rest gave.
Oh, it wasn't a bad call. That was a good guy. He took the steps. He did not need to push him.
You guys lost.
And not only that, look at how hard he ran. How hard he went into the sideline worker.
He was trying to injure
Bengals guy.
Yeah, he was trying to injure somebody.
Yeah. I'm with you. No, I don't do an onside kick.
I'm going to say something about the XFL.
A pooch kick, maybe, not an onside kick.
Everybody is loving the Battlehawks. They're our team. They're St. Louis's team.
Yeah.
They're our local team. Blah, blah. Guys, I want to watch it, but no, they are not our local team. They don't stay here. They don't live here. They don't shop in this city. They have nothing to do with the city. They fly out of San Antonio or Dallas for their home games and their away games, and they stay in that area. They do not stay in St. Louis. So that team, yes, every team is that way in the new XFL. They're all stationed in one place, and they all fly to home games, and they all fly to road games. That's why they had to fly them in to St. Louis to show off the players. They flew them in from Texas. That's the way.
This was a bad move. That was a bad move. That's the game.
They're trying to save money. And you know what? If you don't have the money to let your team travel, you're not going to last long. You're just not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's something.
And, they're St. Louis's team, but are they in the community? Are they here all the time? No. Not like the Blues.
I don't think that I think that's just, I'm not looking at that. I think that, if they're going to come in and play for the city, they play for the city. And that's what people are looking at. Lance, at this point, I love you, but I think you're picking nits.
No, here's my point. You're playing for the city. How can you play for a city you don't know? A city you don't live in? I mean, baseball players have a house in St. Louis, and they have a house in other parts of the country.
Vance, I'm going to turn you off right now.
Go ahead.
I'm going to turn you off right now. I'll tell you how.
Here we go.
Me.
Here we go.
Me. Right now. Me. I'm the example. I don't live in St. Louis. I live and die for St. Louis.
You're a fan.
No.
You're not a player.
I don't shop in St. Louis. I don't shop in St. Louis. I don't spend any money in St. Louis, but I live and die for that city. That's how.
Totally different. You're a podcaster. You're not a professional player.
I'm a professional broadcaster.
Okay. So am I part of St. Louis if I live in Illinois and don't spend a lot of money in St. Louis? No.
Well, no, hold on. You got to remember now there's a metro area. You're actually in that part of that metro area.
Well,
now you may spend it on the other side, but you're part of that metro area that all works. You go to games in St. Louis. You spend money in St. Louis. You do things over there. Yes, you do. I'm sorry. I gotta disagree with you there.
The Battlehawks are an XFL team. They're not a St. Louis team. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Well, great game so the Super Bowl will be the Kansas City Chiefs in the home of the former St. Louis Cardinals. And yes, I'm old enough to remember that. This will be the Chiefs. What? Is this like Mahomes' fifth AFC championship game in a row?
It's his fourth or fifth, and then his second or third Super Bowl. It's his third Super Bowl. He's lost one.
It's going to be great to see.
Should be fun.
Dale, I spent a week in St. Louis and nobody shot me.
Hey, Dale, I'm going to tell you something. There's two neighborhoods you need to stay away from. And if you stay away from those neighborhoods, you have a 99.9% chance of not being shot.
Yeah, they're both in Illinois.
No, they're not.
What are they? North
St. Louis and downtown St. Louis.
I was in both of them, and I didn't get shot.
You were not in North St. Louis, guy. You were not. You were.
Yes, I was.
You did not spend the night on North Grand Avenue. No, you did not.
I didn't spend the night, but I spent time down there because I have friends down there. Well, I have a lot of friends down there.
You stay down in North St. Louis, and you're going to get yourself in trouble.
I was in North St. Louis in a bar with friends that I went to high school with.
Yeah, in a bar with friends, surrounded by a bunch of people. I'm talking about if you go down to an area by yourself.
I have been in North St. Louis by myself. Lance, I'm telling you, I've been in North St. Louis by myself. I've been in downtown by myself. The only place I won't go by myself, I won't go to East St. Louis by myself.
Guy, East St. Louis isn't in St. Louis. I'm tired of people saying that. It's got nothing to do with it.
It's just like where you live. It's the metro area. It's still part of St. Louis.
St. Louis crime statistics do not include East St. Louis, Illinois in their crime statistics.
I know, because they'd be worse.
I won't go to North St. Louis, and people can hate me for it. I won't do it.
Yeah. Well, guys,
too many people.
Wow, what a fun thing. Okay, guys. You know what? Great night. So the Blues are going to take on the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow. Is it a later game? I think
it is.
Let me double check the game time tomorrow. Let me pull it up. Let me double check the game time. Just to double check. I think it's a 4:00 game.
7 p.m.
time. No, 3:00. So it's a standard game time.
Yep.
All right. So 2:30, which would be 6:30. 6:30 will be the pregame show, and we'll be on throughout the game. Hopefully my hand's getting better. As you can see, my fingers are almost to a point where they look right. Who liked the live? Let's see, Carly. We got Gloria Spear, our Gloria Steeper, Erickson Krieger, Dale Klunk, Marianne Holmes, Jason Nichols, and Danny Johnson. Those are the ones. If you liked it on YouTube, unfortunately, I can't see your name, but I appreciate it if you did. I really don't. And to be honest, I don't get a lot of YouTube likes. Yeah. I really don't. I get more in the I get a lot more from Facebook, mm-hmm. and I get a lot more views from Facebook, but that just is what it is. It was a good show. I live in Government HUD apartment, and a good area of Illinois. We just had 2 and a carjacking in the last year. Well, I mean, there's crime everywhere. It doesn't matter where it is. There's crime in Hawaii.
I'm not going to say anything with that comment, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, your host for the Blue Note Fan Report, and I don't have enough people to go live on TikTok, Carly. I need 1,000 followers to go live on TikTok, and I don't even have close to that. I have 174 on the Hawaii Blues fan, and I have 29 on Guy's Mental Health.
It's a nice thought. I mean, that'd be nice.
Yeah. I just don't have the 1,000. Otherwise, I would. Right? And I haven't been doing my TikToks, but I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to start making time out and doing them and not worrying about views, but doing them because of what they are. So
can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of divided people that want recognition and acceptance, but they're not willing to accept other people with different opinions of theirs. Look at Guy and I. We can argue. We can say things we don't agree with. At the end of the day, we both like each other. We both get along, but we respect each other's opinion. Yep. There's no hate between us. He gets heated. I get heated. There's no hate, and that's the way it should be, even though we disagree.
Yep. I mean, I can always just turn his mic off. You like that, Lance? I turned it back on. Oh no, it's back on. So you can talk now.
I'm just teasing.
I knew you were doing that. That's why I said something. I wasn't gonna let you bang me like that. All right, so guys, I love each one of you. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Enjoy what's left of your weekend. Give them a hug. Here we go. This side. You got that way, Lance. There we go. Guys, have a wonderful night. This is Guy, the White Blues fan, and Lance the Drop the Scott saying aloha mahalo. And you got to know,
the White Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues!
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues!
And aloha.